Virgo, and thank you so much for joining me for your 2025 April Tarot reading. My name is Echo, and I just want to let you know that as we move into spring, we are coming in with an energy of renewal and rebirth. So I would like you to enjoy that as we move forward. We are operating with a solar eclipse. The tail end of that happened just at the end of March here. And as you step into April, harness the energy, take that and use that however you like. That will be March 29th. And that will be in the sign of Aries. So see where that is on your chart. It's at 9 degrees Aries, and see how that's going to apply to you. Neptune will also be present in that space. So go ahead and take a look at that. Neptune's all about dreamy energy, spiritual work, and moving toward the greater good in a way that is a little more fantasy based. We do have a Mercury retrograde impacting us until the middle of April. So if you have any technology you're working with, save those files and be wary of any intrusive thoughts, issues with communication, things like that. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading, my dear Virgo, and see what April has in store for you. You start off with relationship dynamics. So you may be addressing a relationship that you're currently experiencing right now. And I feel like this is more of a personal relationship. It could be work related, but this feels more personal in nature. It seems to me like you're looking at the way things are working, and it might be that you feel like you're carrying more of the load than another person around you, or you're just looking at the dynamics of how your relationship works as a whole for your household and for your living space together. So if someone is currently living with you and the workload needs to be shared, recognize that some people have more strength in areas than others and more talent and know-how than others. Not that you couldn't share roles with whoever you're in this relationship with Virgo, but some people just have a knack and a system they're more comfortable with. Like, for instance, one partner may stay home and be the caregiver and the person who takes care of the household while the other individual works, which is hard to do these days. I know that we do live in an economy where having two people working would be favorable, but if you can find a way that works for you, makes you happy, go for it. Because we can spend a lot of our life chasing dollars and doing whatever it takes to make ends meet and go, 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 go. But mankind was not meant to work, 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 and then just die, okay? We're here to enjoy life. We're here to experience life, learn new things, and see what all it has to offer, good and bad. So if you are hitting pretty hard the dynamics of your relationship, and that is on your mind a lot in the month of April, take the good points out of that as advice from spirit on how to progress. Maybe you have an important talk the two of you need to have so you can clear the air, have a new understanding on a give and take scenario that you have, something like that. So let's just continue with this reading and see what else pops up in the month of April. You have speak truth. Okay, so we were talking about an important conversation. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you need to address the dynamics, speak truth says to me that there's probably something in your situation that you feel could be smoother, could be better, and there's something you need to discuss. There is a situation on your mind. If your partner looks like they want to talk, open that door for them, but I really feel like this is more you, Virgo. So as Virgos, we tend to be, because I'm a Virgo myself, we tend to be very detail-oriented, very organized, and whenever something throws a rock into our plans and kind of mixes things up for us, we tend to get a little bit frazzled. But you like things to structure, and everyone around you probably tells you the same thing they do me. They may not, take it or leave it. But it's go with the flow, you're too uptight, stay mellow. But honestly, as a Virgo, speaking as a Virgo, having structure and having organization takes a lot of that last minute guesswork out of what I'm doing, and I have a better idea of how to navigate a chapter that I'm going through. So that kind of is the flow for me personally. So for a lot of Virgos, the organization and that structure is our flow. That is where we find our happy space, because it allows us to take the lead, even if somebody is unwilling or confused and just kind of waiting things to be handed to them. We empower ourselves by getting organization, and that creates our flow. So I hope that makes sense. And if this means having to speak your truth with a loved one or someone in a relationship, let them know if you need more. Let them know if something's not working. and people who genuinely love you and care about you will be receptive to those conversations. But if it turns out to be a difficult conversation, it may be better to wait until after this Mercury retrograde ends in the middle of April to avoid any miscommunication or misunderstanding. So just take that with a grain of salt and approach that however you like, Virgo. Next, you have peace. So you are addressing relationships and speaking truth, and I feel like this is all for the sake of peace. Not only the peace between yourself and your significant other, Virgo, but like I said, just enjoying life, your overall peace. Doing the things that make you happy is important to you, just like anybody else. You're a person on this planet looking to experience what joys and wonders of universe has to provide, and new adventures. So if you need more of those things to find your peace, start planning and creating and putting forth ideas on how you can create that. On the daily level for yourself, take time out if you need it. Meditation is always good to regain your focus and clear the air. Get all of what they call the monkey mind. Carl Jung coined that phrase, but all the busyness, chatter in your brain, clear that away and just get quiet and sit with yourself. Take a bubble bath. Write all the things that are floating around in your head. This is one of my favorite things, down on paper to get them out of your head. And then you know you've recorded it somewhere. And when you feel in a better energy to go revisit that, do that. But if this piece is coming from a difficult conversation or addressing your relationship dynamics, this may mean you have to come down to a drastic action. If those talks don't go well, or a person is unwilling to talk and you realize that this is what's stifling your peace, then maybe it's time to do something a little more drastic and move in a different direction and separate from this relationship. Dictate to them what it is you want out of the relationship. And if they say they're just unwilling to give and unwilling to deliver, it might be time to move on to a new relationship, Virgo. So I would love to see what else is in the cards for you. And we're going to throw some tarot now because it looks like you're dealing with some heavy energies right now in the month of April. First off, you have the Nine of Cups in reverse, the Two of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. So the Nine of Cups in reverse says something about you're having a hard time reaching for more. It may be that opportunities may have seemed to eluded you, or you're being given promises that were never kept, or people promise one thing and deliver another. You may be looking for opportunities in just on a personal level. And this is what's got you looking at your relationship dynamic, okay? Because the person who's supposed to be in your corner really isn't, which is, again, another cup that you'd be reaching for that you can't grasp. Because the Nine of Cups is all about having more than enough. And this is how you are reaching for more, how you can have those experiences, create that joy, and experience life on something that's more than, like I said, just the work, typical 9 to 5, what have you. But something about your Ninth Cup seems to have been eluding you. As you move into April, you're feeling this energy. Next, you have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is all about maintaining a balance and possibly readdressing a balance, the way this comes out in this reading. Pentacles are all about material, things we can see and touch. So you may be addressing your finances, looking at checks and balances. What subscriptions do I need to cut? Where can I cut back on the budget to be able to have more for myself so I can go out and have more fun? But you're also weighing up exactly how much money means in your life on a personal level. You want to have enough to be able to take care of your finances and take care of your household. But sometimes the weight can be a little bit heavy for you if you are carrying all of it, or your partner if they are carrying all of it. So again, this is about maintaining a balance. But I do like this card in this reading because it actually has the rune of Raido. Raido is the rune of the journey or the wheel, and it talks about movement. So while you are addressing the balance, you want to, I guess you could say, address any wobbly wheels so it's a smoother ride overall. Just know that while we do have difficulties in life and we do have peaks and valleys as dictated in the background of this card, you're going to navigate through those, even if it's not always smoothly, in a way that does create balance. So long as you balance yourself as well, and if you're bringing balance to the dynamics of this relationship, that's all the better, because that's less problems and knowing that you have somebody in your corner as you navigate all of that. Next, you have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is, again, we're We're talking material gain. So I see that you're going to come out on top of your financial situation one way or another. Either you're choosing not to rely on this partner because you feel like you're better suited to take on a task, or you have found some sort of happy medium between yourself and your partner in your relationship dynamic where you can come out on top with just a small nip and tuck here and there, a couple changes. But ultimately, given that you're very on top of things and you're very detail oriented, Virgo, you do have the ability to overcome this and be the king sitting on the throne with plenty, but you're the master of your material world and you're not just your finances, but your everyday, okay? Creating the life that you want in real time. So I love having this card for you. So I just want to see what else the tarot has for us in this reading, Virgo, because this feels almost like I'm seeing like a blacksmith with a hammer, or like you're just creating something that can cut through the BS, right? And a blacksmith would be creating that sword, which is, again, an intellectual energy. And there's a lot of intellect here. But as I say that, I look down and Speak Truth has a big old sword on the card. That's so funny. But if you look at this, you're going to cut through the nonsense one way or another. You're just trying to figure out how to do this. But like they say, don't try to eat the whole elephant at one time in one bite. So maybe you just address this at different angles and kind of do this, do that. There's a lot of moving parts here, like a clock. I feel like there's gears to a clock somewhere that may pop up in a dream for somebody. You may have your attention called away to either the ticking of a clock, or for somebody, the large chime of like a grandfather clock. It tends to pull our attention in a very hard way that seems almost ominous, but that's for somebody specific. So let's go ahead with this reading. I want to see, what does Virgo maybe not see coming in the month of April? What do you not see coming? Because you're already dealing with a lot of heavy energies here, Virgo, and you don't want to get thrown off. We don't need any nasty surprises. Spirit, what do you have? Another sword. You have the Ace of Swords. So now, as I lay this down, the way it came up, the Speak Truth card has a sword pointing down, and this is just the way this spread is for these readings. This sword is pointing up. So the Ace of Swords is talking about a victory, okay? Conquering a situation. And what you don't see coming is just how you're going to do this. It's almost like not an aha moment, but you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to come up with an idea that maybe wasn't originally in your plan anywhere in this. Like you're going through all the cogs of a clock, like we were talking about, all the gears of a clock, and then you find this one piece that will make that clock run better. Like I'm hearing lithium battery, because they have those watches that are all digital and they use the lithium batteries, and you don't have to wind a watch anymore or anything like that. So this message actually says that there is a sort of conquering situation over whatever it is you're dealing with right now. And this may be that relationship dynamic and how it impacts your everyday. So you're going to get the better of this situation and create your own peace from that, I'm hearing. So what blessings does Virgo have coming in the month of April? We would love some blessings, Spirit. Blessings for Virgo in the month of April. You have the Nine of Swords in reverse, more swords energy. Now, the Nine of Swords is all about taking a knee, being beaten down, and bearing a heavy burden, right? But just like trying to survive, basically, you could say. In reverse, this says your blessing is going to be more than survival. You're not going to acquiesce to the idea of survival. Your blessing is actually going to be more about finding something that's status quo. And it may not be as much financially as you want right off the bat, but you're going to find a way that makes it all work. Like I said, bringing in all the little pieces and incorporating new ideas. So you don't really feel defeated. You feel like you've just created a happy medium and found this peace for yourself. So you are blessed with the strength to get up and rise again, because the individual in this card is taking a knee. Let me hold this upright. He is taking a knee because all the swords that have come back on him and feeling defeated and attacked, maybe by other people, maybe the things people say, casting doubt on what you do, has put you in that position. This could also be your own thoughts that kept you down. The swords are all about what stresses you out and keeps you awake at night. So you are going to find a way to overcome this beat down, stressed out, awake at night energy. If you are losing sleep at this time, Virgo, don't worry. Be wary of your own intrusive thoughts, just like we wouldn't allow other people to speak negatively of our intentions and inhibit what we're trying to create, because you don't want to introduce that bad energy. You want to stay positive. Do what it takes to find restful sleep, or in that time that you're awake, find a way to amuse yourself, daydream a little bit, get out of your head and don't stress out, get good rest, okay? Because when you are in the daylight waking hours and people are approaching you with opportunities, this is your chance to take action, and you want to be a little bit sharper, especially since we're combating that April Mercury retrograde to the middle of April. So what advice do you have for Virgo in the month of April, Spirit? What advice do you have? Ooh, you're dropping cards. What advice do you have for my Virgos? You have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So the Pentacles are all about, again, material and everything coming to a very strong bounty and fruition. Like upright, the individuals in this card are almost coming back. They look like they're cheering from a raid, right? With all of the cups and everything upright and raised. But given that this card is in reverse, that tells me that you're not advised at this time to chase money. Chase your happiness, because the money will find you. It's almost like your status quo. You want to be able to have enough to take care of the household, and you're going to create that as you readdress this balance and come out with the King of Pentacles. But it's because you went after this ninth cup that was eluding you, and you had whatever this conversation was in your relationship to create peace. All of this is flowing together to allow you to let go the idea of, I have to make so much money, I have to do this, I have to do that, or I'm not worth it. Let me tell you something, okay? And this is coming from a personal experience of my own. A couple that keep popping up and gave me this ultimate message on a personal level. This is me talking to you, so I'm just going to share something with you. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. It doesn't matter if they approve the work you do or the kind of money you make, and their snide remarks don't help you. So don't be afraid to tell a person, when they cross a boundary, be like, hey, it's work. It makes me happy, and that's all that matters. And if they care about you, that should be enough. And people who do make snide remarks and continue to pick at you, they're not your tribe, okay? Point blank. So just don't chase financial breakdown unless that's what it takes to make you happy. But I'm feeling from this reading that's not the case. It's your relationship with whoever you're connected to. But this doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse. It can be your tribe, your circle of friends, your relationship with your family, your relationship with work in general, the workplace, and both how it impacts you, and your relationship with money as well, as that's popping up in here. Your relationship with yourself and how you think, how you talk to other people, and how you let them talk to you. So find what really brings you value, and don't pin it just to material value, because that's so shallow and that's far beneath us Virgos, all right? That's not deep enough. So I just want to draw a rune for you, Virgo, and see what's coming in the month of April. I love this reading. I know I say that, but this really hits home in a big, big way. So let's see what rune for you. Okay. You have the rune of Hagalas. Hagalas is the rune of the storm, conflict, complication. So I'm hearing that, like, not that you have super huge battles ahead of you. It's not going to be easy breezy moving ahead, but the hardest battles have already been hard won. They've already been fought. So at this point, you're going forward and taking what you already know and applying it to the battle ahead, because you're the strategist, right? If you were in battle, you were the person who knows exactly how your troops need to move in order to obtain victory, and how you're going to use those resources once you've won them on the battlefield. So I love this reading for you, Virgo. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm wishing you a blessed month of April. Take care of yourself as you take care of all this, because as Virgo, we do tend to put a lot more on our plate and stress ourselves out. My name is Echo, and I thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time.